Hey, this is Dr. Mark Richard, orthopedic surgeon at Duke University. Today on Diamond Doc, we're going to talk about building the ideal mechanics for throwing and the transition to pitching. We've talked about it before, but overhead throwing is an unnatural motion. The unique anatomy of the shoulder and elbow are frequently stressed by this action. In the end, the pitching motion is an artful display of a number of smaller motions coming together to safely and effectively throw a pitch. When one of those component motions goes awry, the overall mechanics are affected, and this can risk injury. Today we're going to review the components of a successful pitching motion and what can be measured to predict safety in throwing. There are generally accepted to be 6 phases of pitching. They are the windup, the stride or early cocking, late cocking, acceleration, deceleration, and follow-through. There are components of each phase that are required for coordinated movement. The windup requires balance, whereas the stride coordinates stride length and foot contact in the non-dominant leg with external rotation of the shoulder. Late cocking continues to see an increase in shoulder external rotation with elbow flexion and trunk position. Acceleration sees a rapid shoulder internal rotation. Deceleration and follow-through have changes in trunk position, lead leg extension, and horizontal adduction of the shoulder. Now, I'm not reviewing these mechanics to teach pitching to you. That's best left to the experts. But when you review the components that make up a coordinated pitch, you find that if one of those components is deficient, the risk of injury goes up. Specifically, researchers have evaluated players for deficits in shoulder internal rotation, shoulder horizontal adduction, elbow extension, trunk position, and hip internal rotation in the lead leg. Deficits in each of these measurements have been associated with an increase in elbow injuries from the loss of coordination of the components of the throwing motion and a resulting increased transfer of stress to the elbow. Working with your coaches on pitching mechanics is essential to throw safely and effectively. Development of core strength for balance can preserve the essential timing of each component, and maintaining flexibility at each joint through appropriate stretching exercises both in and out of season is critical. Now that you know the scientific aspects of pitching, I hope it is easier to see why some of your training exercises are so important. Do you have questions about building the mechanics for throwing or pitching? Please respond in the comments and ask your questions using the hashtag USAB mailbag.